This is where the fun begins.
General Kenobi.
Hello there.
Hello and welcome to Jedi Knights, the official Star Wars podcast for JoyClicks. I'm your host today, Mike Connors. Usually I'm the co-host, not usually taking lead, but Christian and I are doing something a little different. But yeah, on the other end here, I got Christian Buckley, my illustrious co-host, the Chewie for this episode.
That was worse than last week. That was worse.
I think you got to try it every single time.
I will.
I hope it doesn't get old or anything like that.
No, it's short. It's short. I'm not doing the whole episode as Chewbacca, you know?
That's true. I mean, I don't even know if I'd be able to understand you if you did. So
yeah.
Well, anyways, how have you been, Christian? It's been a week.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. This week is Life Day. I'm doing nothing for it.
Okay. Yeah, this is the first ever celebration of Life Day, I feel.
In our lifetime.
Exactly, in our lifetime. I mean, for November's going forward, like near Thanksgiving or anything, I feel like I'm always going to be celebrating Life Day.
Yeah, because also the past couple years, right? We've had December to be Star Wars month, so November is usually when I watch the Star Wars movies. It just worked out that way the past 4 years.
This is true. For some reason I always seem to sort of put Star Wars and Thanksgiving together.
Mm-hmm.
That's just been a theme throughout my life, and I feel like Life Day being close to Thanksgiving is, it makes a lot of sense. You
know why? I just realized why you do that.
Can I guess?
Yes.
Maybe?
Please guess.
Is it because they have the marathons on TV?
Yeah, I was gonna say Spike TV, the prequel marathons going into the OGs back in the day. Yeah,
exactly. They had those on Thanksgiving, but then they also have them New Year's. I remember very.
Oh, nice.
Well, yeah. So we're talking about some nostalgia and holidays and everything, but why don't we move on to what we usually do here on Jedi Knights? Every single week we have a little segment called Jedi Archives, in which Christian and I pick a Wikipedia page about a piece of the Star Wars lore, canon, non-canon, things that we've discussed in the past, things that we haven't discussed in the past, and so we talk about them. We try to educate each other on it, and as well we try to educate the viewers here. So why don't I go first this time?
Sure,
I think
please
you went
do.
first the last time. So I picked Ben Quadinaros as my Wikipedia page. Are you familiar with him?
I am not, but I'm looking it up.
Yeah, so Ben Quadinaros, he was I think it's pronounced Tong pod racer pilot. Tong, I think, is his species, but he was a pod racer pilot who had very little actual racing experience when he participated in the Boonta Eve Classic that saw the liberation of the slave boy Anakin. Piloting a BT-310 quadrupod racer, Quadinaros never left the starting grid due to his pod stalling. Then his power coupling failed, causing his engine's energy binders to deactivate, and his engine spiraled away and exploded at different parts of the arena. Did you look him up?
Yes, I am familiar with this gentleman. He looks like a basset hound in a way, like his face. Like if Mike Wazowski, didn't do his Botox.
That's so That's so funny, actually.
No, and totally... two eyes, of course.
Yeah, totally. I mean, he definitely does look like. That's a really accurate. That's a super accurate description, actually.
Thank you.
But yeah, he was definitely he was in episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and he had some issues with his pod. I don't think he died. I don't think that killed him though. I think he was still alive. But yeah, so that's Ben Quadinaros. That's my pick. What about you, Christian?
Mine is a refreshment this week. I'm picking green milk.
Ooh, as opposed to its counterpart, blue milk.
Yes, so green milk was a nutritious green-colored milk produced by female thalassirans. During his self-imposed exile on the planet Ahch-To, Luke Skywalker harvested the milk from these creatures for drinking. During the war between the First Order and the Resistance, green milk was imported to Bubo Wombo family farms on the planet Batu, and it was sold to residents and visitors to the Blackspire Outpost.
That's wonderful. We are very familiar with that scene in The Last Jedi. Seeing him squeeze that animal for its milk, and he takes a nice little sip of it. Why? I wonder, like, what's the difference between blue and green milk? It's just the cat, like, different animal that it comes from, or something.
I would assume, like the Thala sirens seem to be sea creatures. I don't know about the blue milk, that's on Tatooine. Don't they harvest that?
Yeah, I don't really know. I know that they like they harvest like moisture and stuff, so I'm
Hmm.
not sure if it's the same thing, right? Like,
Banthas? Maybe bantha milk?
oh, could be bantha milk. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's true. Maybe the stuff that Luke Skywalker, the green milk, is green because it's near the sea. Never
Sure.
thought about that.
Sure, yeah, that could be true. I wonder what it tastes like. I'm imagining like a vanilla shake.
Yeah, like if you were to go to Disney World
Yeah.
or whatever and buy it.
Hmm.
I do want to try all of the different drinks that they have in the cantinas at Black Spire Outpost. They look super cool. I'm
Hmm.
not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I have the wallet for it because I'm sure like one green milk probably costs like $10. So
No, well, I've looked into this because I brought this up last week. Me and my girlfriend want to go to Galaxy's Edge at some point. It's like for a drink at the cantina, it's like $50 because they make you buy the drink glass, mug, stein,
that
whatever it is.
that is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I can't even like $50 for like just a mug. Like the mug probably isn't even worth that much money. To be
it does
honest.
look cool. It's like about yay tall. I know you can't see this, but it's like maybe 8 to 9 inches tall, and it looks like it's carved out of wood, and it has like Ewoks on it for some of them. One of them was like a droid carving, so like it's a cool looking thing, and you get like a coaster with it too. But yeah, if I want like any drink from the Star Wars cantina, gonna cost me.
Yeah, and you think that like probably alcoholic ones, they're probably skimping out on the alcohol a little bit too. So,
Yeah, but
anyways, why don't we move on from the Wikipedia articles that we both pulled and start to talk about a little bit of the news here. So we got some stuff to talk about today, and the first thing that I pulled, I saw this on Star Wars Newsnet. It was an interview with Daisy Ridley. Star Wars Newsnet didn't do the interview. She actually spoke to IGN about her upcoming movie Chaos Walking, which I'm not super familiar with. I don't know if you are, Christian.
I believe it's her and Tom Holland. I can
Oh
look
yeah,
into it.
true. But anyways, I don't know much about the movie. Anyway, of course, no matter what sort of interview that anybody in Star Wars does, it almost always turns to Star Wars, regardless of whether or not they're doing the interview because of the franchise. And she talked about Episode 9 a little bit and where Rey is in the universe after that film. Do you want me to read what she said, Christian?
Let's hear it.
Yeah, so she said, quote, I think for me, the beauty of episode 9 is it ends with such hope and such potential. I just feel like that was Rey's perfect ending. The big battle was in episodes 7, 8, and 9. I think she's really probably running around the four. I think really she's probably running around the forest somewhere having a great time. I feel totally satisfied with how that story finished. I just don't know what else she could do that I didn't have to do. So it sounds like the book is sort of closed on live action Rey, Christian.
I would say for now, you know, because I would be willing to bet that there is an interview with Ewan McGregor where he was talking about Revenge of the Sith, and he's like, "Oh, I was so happy I was able to finally complete the story, bridge the gap. The story's complete now, you know." And then we did get Obi-Wan through the Clone Wars series, and then after that, of course, we're getting Kenobi the series. So like, I think when it comes to Star Wars leads, yes, there is a huge possibility like that they'd never come back. And hey, if she never comes back, I would believe her.
Sure.
But I don't think there's a 0% chance that we never see Daisy Ridley play Rey again.
Yeah, you think that's just a matter of time till we see her again?
Yeah, like we've kicked this around before. I think that in 10 years, when everybody's nostalgic for the sequels, we get episode 10 announced, and it's Rey and Finn and their new Jedi Order and some new threat to the galaxy. So
Yeah, no, that's probably true. I'm kind of curious what you think about what she has to say about this. She says that, she believes that this was Rey's perfect ending. You just said that that's probably not going to last. She says that she thinks that she's probably running around the forest somewhere, having a great time, which kind of seems like I don't know if that's exactly what she's doing. I feel like she's doing a little bit more like training people to be Jedi or
Hmm.
using the Force or something like that. But um, she says she feels satisfied with how the story finished. I'm kind of curious if you feel the same.
I mean, if this is truly the end of these characters and exploring them, I would say I'm satisfied. Like we left on a thing where there's not many loose ends. It's like everything's kind of wrapped up. There's answers for everything, or for the important stuff. Um, and I think what's interesting is that yes, the conflict we saw with Rey, I would say has come to a conclusion, and it's an ending that you either like or you don't like. But regardless, I feel satisfied with it. Um, what I'd be interested to see then is less of a conflict, I guess, with Rey, and more of her taking on the master role, because I feel like that could be more interesting as well. That's a different sort of role for Rey to fit into.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think there's room to explore there for sure.
So you think that, like, the story of Rey being the hero and everything that's kind of told, and if they're going to use the character more, they're going to have to go in a different direction. Maybe she takes over the Luke role.
I would think so. Yeah. I honestly I feel like there is a lot of potential for Rey to actively fill the role that people imagined Luke would have filled after Return of the Jedi came out. Because like if that's through a TV show or whatever, sure. But I think that gateway's still open, personally.
Yeah, no, I think you're probably right. I don't know if I would say that like I feel satisfied with how the story was overall, but I mean like as it was taken as a whole, it finished, and like you said, it tied up a lot of the loose ends and everything. So if that's where it ended, that I'd be fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily think personally I need to see them again. I wasn't super hot on them to begin with, like the sequel cast and everything. Just like I guess like what Disney ended up doing with them. I'm not super hot on the movies, but I'd love to see Daisy Ridley come back in some way. Why not?
Yeah, because like even if you didn't love how the story went, like I think I don't want to speak for you here, but let me know if you feel the same way. Like I still have an attachment to those characters. Like I could root for Rey again. I did in 7 and 8 and 9, so like I could do it again. I really want to see them explore Finn and see him become a Jedi as we all want him to be. Like I do think that in a few years from now, with some time separated and we get to explore whatever new eras they want to do, there will be an excitement behind the announcement of an episode 10. It's like, oh, they're all coming back. Awesome. That was a great time in my life.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, you're definitely not speaking for me when you say that, because these characters do have a big part of, when I think of Star Wars, I think of these characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like, back in 1983, I don't think anybody ever thought that there would be, a sequel to that trilogy. So
Sure.
you never know what's going to happen. Anyway, moving on. She also said that she watched, Daisy Ridley also said that she watched the latest season of The Mandalorian. Quote, there are so many amazing characters in Star Wars, and that it's sort of an amazing thing. I was watching the new episode of The Mandalorian, and it's just like the places it can go beyond even where it is now is so exciting. And then she started to talk about the hot button issue, according to Star Wars Newsnet, of the child, Baby Yoda, eating the eggs of the frog lady in Chapter 10. Um, she said, quote, oh, cancel culture. Look, Mando's got to eat. The child's got to get strong. That's just that. I think it's funny because in a way, The Mandalorian, I feel slightly closer to Chaos Walking in a way because of the Western feel of it. No, I'm like, Yoda, do your thing. The frog lady got to be where she needed to be with the eggs. It's all good. It was beautiful. That's what she had to say. So
Yeah, I mean, she's not wrong. Like they still had their child. They had one
that's what I'm
kid.
saying. Yeah, the frog lady had a lot of eggs, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's the wild. Sometimes they don't live fully. It's natural selection, I guess.
Yeah, what was that like? We learned about that in history. There was that like Oregon Trail type deal where like They were out in isolation for so long, they had to eat, you know? Like, that's the space version of that.
Yeah, basically. I mean, like, Baby Yoda, he's a growing Yoda. So,
Yeah,
like she said, he's got to get strong.
yeah.
Anyways, speaking more a little bit about the Mandalorian, we have a rumor coming from the Direct. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Direct before, Christian.
I have heard of the
Okay.
Direct.
Okay. Are they reputable? Have they?
Well, I would say they are, because our mutual friend Jack Martin is about to start writing for him. So, yes.
Dude, why? How come that just totally went over my head?
I thought that's why you pulled this. I was like, oh, so Mike was like looking into it. Cool.
I I am so sorry, Jack, because I know that you're probably listening to this, and that totally went over my head. Anyways, yeah, congratulations to Jack for that. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I saw this on Star Wars Newsnet. Moving on from that extreme blunder. So Boba Fett, the rumored, is it rumored Boba Fett series? I think it's rumored. It's not
Yeah.
confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah. That gets a cast update from the direct. Will be set between. They say that it will be set between Return of the Jedi and The Mandalorian season 2. So we know from previous rumors that Tamora Morrison will be starring in this as Boba Fett, which is great. But according to the direct, Jordan Bollinger will be cast in a supporting role. Apparently, he's been in Peaky Blinders before. I don't know if you're familiar with him at all.
I am not, and I'm looking it up that name right now, and I'm getting nothing. Let me look on IMDb. Hold on.
Yeah, so I guess he is reportedly cast in some sort of supporting role. He's been in Peaky Blinders before. The direct also notes that another actor, Sophie Thatcher, who was reported by Deadline to have been cast in the third season of The Mandalorian, will actually be making her debut in the spin-off movie, also in a supporting role. So yeah, I guess it kind of puts the question in my head, like, are we going to see these characters appear first in like the Boba Fett series, or do you think they might show up in the Mandalorian or something like that?
If I had to guess, I would say they show up in Boba Fett. Because probably only, honestly, like, because think about someone like I don't know who's like, I guess Timothy Oliphant. I knew him going into this show, but I don't know these other actors. Like, I think having a guest cast, or just casting in general, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the signals were like mixed based on reports that you said Deadline, I think, heard of whatever the working title for Boba Fett was could have been mistaken with the Mandalorian, because like they're both dealing with Mandalorian adjacent characters, you know, like if you know how sometimes productions have code names.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars, the original is Blue Harvest, right?
Right.
So I could see a world where like Shiny Armor was the name of a code thing. It's like, oh, this person was cast alongside Tamora Morrison and a character who might have had a relation to Mando season 1 in Shiny Armor. And then whoever's reporting is like, oh, Shiny Armor, that must be Mando season 2. And then we hear rumors of a Boba Fett thing. It's like, oh, so actually maybe it was that. So
yeah, I mean, I think it's possible, like, all this stuff is, like we said, are just rumors, so we're not entirely sure of like the veracity of all of these things. If we can't say for certain, up or down, whether it's true or not. So I mean, I think it's interesting. I feel like we're definitely going to see these characters show up. I think you're probably right that they'll show up in they'll show up in Boba Fett, the miniseries first, and then maybe in future seasons of Mandalorian, since this is reportedly going to be set before Mando season 2. Maybe they'll show up in future seasons of The Mandalorian. Who knows?
sure.
It would be interesting though. We saw Boba Fett in season 2, episode 1, right? Or at least what we think is Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
If that is like the end of the Boba Fett miniseries in some way.
Yeah, like I'll ask you this too. Do you think this is building towards something. Like, we're starting to connect Din Djarin Mandalorian to a lot of other things that I didn't really expect we were going to. I truly, honestly thought, even as far back or as recent as like maybe a month and a half ago, that the Mandalorian was going to be its own thing. So do you think the idea of like we're teasing out Bo-Katan, Katie Sackhoff was like Bo's character is super integral to where we're going? We're getting rumors of Boba Fett, another Mandalorian spin-off type deal. Bo wants to take back Mandalore. I also saw a thing earlier that was like Bo is gonna have a pretty influential role in the Bad Batch. Like, do you think that a lot of the TV we're building up right now is just to like culminate with a second like live action Siege of Mandalore type thing?
I mean, yeah, do you think are you saying sort of like building up like the MCU to like a final Infinity War sort of like
Yeah, like does like Din Djarin drop off the child with Ahsoka or Luke somewhere, and then he's like, okay, now we're gonna double down. We're gonna go across the galaxy, find all the Mandalorians we can. One of them's Boba Fett.
it certainly seems like it's sort of getting set up that way, right?
Yeah.
Like they're sort of like introducing all these characters and everything, and like Bo-Katan showed up in one episode and then didn't show up in the next one, and like yeah, it's sort of just like it feels like they're showing all these characters for future use, right?
I would assume, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe like Bo-Katan will show up again in like the season of The Mandalorian at some point, maybe. But I think it would be naive for us to look at all of these characters showing up and, you know, all the directions that it seems as though Disney Star Wars wants to take, and not consider the fact that they're going to, you know, do something big with this. And whatever that looks like, I'm not really sure. It'll probably be multiple. Multiple TV shows, and then sort of just like somehow all come together at once.
Yeah, I could see a bunch of TV shows and then a film where it's like, oh, it's everybody, and then that's the end of it. You know, like that's how you clear it out.
I mean, yeah, it's very possible, and it would be very Disney-like for them to do that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is also set between Return of the Jedi and Mando Season 2, which means, you know, are we going to see Boba Fett with the armor? Probably not.
Actually, hold the phone. I just realized something.
Sure.
If this is set between Return of the Jedi and Mando Season 2, that's what, 5 years?
That's like, yeah, like 6 years? I don't know, something like that.
If that was Boba Fett, why did he look so old?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just how old was Boba Fett in like Empire Strikes Back, right?
He's younger than Anakin.
Right, because he was like
10, 12.
Yeah, he must have been 10.
So is like the sun is like sitting in the Sarlacc pit for 2 years, just brutal on your body. Like what is it like?
I mean, it's possible, right? Like we don't know what's inside the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah, I'm shocked I never thought of that. Dang.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, I think it'll be an interesting sort of show, and I hope that it's real. I really do.
Yeah.
Anyways, is there anything else you want to say about this, Christian?
Maybe make him cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. Make him cool.
Yeah, don't blunder this. I don't think you will. Star Wars. I just like Boba Fett is the third. No, sorry, he's like the fifth, sixth coolest Mandalorian. You know.
Yeah, so far Din Djarin's got him beat. So,
yeah. Din Djarin, Bo-Katan, Jango Fett, Pre Vizsla, Satine, and then like the rest of Death Watch, then Maul's guy, and then Boba Fett.
You forgot Sabine.
Of course, Sabine's top 5 then.
Okay, all right, yeah. Boba Fett's still on the bottom.
Yeah, come on.
Anyways, going to our next news topic here. I'm gonna actually skip. I don't know if you're following along here. We got some more Mandalorian news.
Sure.
The runtimes for the next 2 episodes, in case you were wondering, Christian.
Mm-hmm.
So according to the German equivalent of the MPAA, which like rates stuff, I think, right?
Yeah.
Chapter 13 of The Mandalorian will be 45 minutes long. So wait, chapter 13 will be 45 minutes long, while chapter 14 will be 32 minutes long.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it seems as though the runtimes posted for chapter 11 and 12 on this German equivalence page of the MPAA seem to be pretty accurate. There might be some minor inconsistencies, since it doesn't seem as though like this doesn't account for runtimes of credits and stuff. So
Okay.
maybe we're looking more at like 49 minutes. But yeah, so next episode 45 minutes. Seem like we're getting longer here.
Yeah, that's good. If I'm not mistaken, I think episode 1 of season 2, chapter 11 or whatever it was, I think was also around 45 minutes, not counting credits.
Yeah, it was pretty long. I think it was one of the longer ones. So
Yeah. So I'm excited, I feel like there's a fair chance that the next episode might deal with Ahsoka that we've been building up towards. So
fair chance.
Yeah. And I know there's like some leaked titles for this week's episode floating around there. I might have seen one. We're not going to say it, but if you're not caught up on Clone Wars, maybe take this week.
Yeah, you still have some time.
Yeah.
So yeah, moving on to some other, short, quick hit news that we have here. In Star Wars Squadrons, there will be a new B-Wing and TIE Defender available. I'm not sure if this is something that has happened yet or will happen. I think it might be just in the new. Oh, it's on November 25th, so Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
You could use these ships, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I see Squadrons is on sale this week for Black Friday, and it's probably gonna coast out some of the holiday season. But yeah, once Squadrons hits like a little bit cheaper than where it is right now, I might pick it up to check it out.
Yeah, I think you and I were talking about this yesterday, Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's at like a lot of places have it like half off. I believe GameStop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's still too much for me. I'm not sure if I'm down to spend $20 on this game.
Yeah, like I spent $8 to get Battlefront 1 and 2 together, so like I can coast. I can wait.
Yeah. I'm sure it won't last. I'm sure it won't be too much longer until
Mm-hmm.
they're at that price, or below $10. I can see that happening sometime soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving on. We're going to be talking about the Lego Star Wars holiday special, but we have some old holiday special news. That's right, from I think 1978 or something like that. So the Star Wars holiday special from that time period is getting a fan-made documentary called "A Disturbance in the Force: How the Star Wars holiday special happened." I thought this was worth mentioning. I think it's kind of funny. Obviously, the Star Wars holiday special back in the 70s was a complete failure. I've never seen it, but a lot of people say it was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming. This fan-made documentary is coming out in November 2021. So Life Day 2021, baby.
Hey.
So yeah, look forward to this. This is what's really happening. This is forget the next season of The Mandalorian. Forget Obi-Wan Kenobi. Forget the new Star Wars movies. Rian Johnson is nothing compared to this fan-made documentary about the Star Wars holiday special.
I'm really interested to see, because I'm assuming if it's coming out in 2021, they haven't started like shooting it yet or doing interviews. Maybe they've like done pre-pro for it. I'm really curious to see who talks about this. Like, is it former Lucasfilm people that were there before? Is it like ABC people? Because I think ABC is the network that aired it originally. Like, I'm really interested. Do they get Mark Hamill to do an interview? Like,
I mean, honestly, man, like with these fan-made documentaries and everything, like nothing is off the table. Like, I could definitely see them getting like some old school like Disney exec, or not Disney, Lucasfilm execs, like who are down to talk about it if they're not under NDA or something, right?
Yeah, like I'll say this too. Before this hits next year, I will watch the holiday special because I still haven't watched it at all.
I haven't either. Are you interested in this fan made documentary, Christian?
Oh yeah, I love documentaries. I love Star Wars documentaries, like Empire Dreams. I had one as a kid on a VHS tape called like Science to Star Wars or Star Wars to Science or something like that, which is really cool. And just all the bonus features on the Blu-ray set I have. I really like watching behind the scenes Star Wars making of stuff, so I'd be super down to watch this because I know nothing really about the holiday special outside of Carrie Fisher saying that she was like coked out during the whole thing.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I know that like they go back to Kashyyyk, right? And it's like life day for Chewbacca and his family.
Yeah,
but,
like I know the gif of Chewie's son where he's like
yeah,
just sitting there.
yeah. Other than that, that's really all I know about it. But yeah, no, it should be interesting. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I like supporting these fan made sort of things. So
Yeah.
yeah, it should be cool. So moving on, we have some more things to talk about, Mandalorian related. We had another installment of Mando Monday yesterday. The merchandise galore days of the week. We had some pretty cool stuff, I think, actually drop. So first off, we're getting another installment of the Mandalorian, of a visual guide from, I think, DK Publishing. They have one of these for like every single movie of Star Wars, so it's cool that we're getting one for the Mandalorian. I actually collect these, and I am sort of behind on the sequel trilogy movies, but might have to start going back on these.
Yeah, that's super cool. Oh, it's cheap too. It's only $25, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, these are really cool. They have like, I have them for the prequels and the original trilogy and everything. And yeah, I don't know if you've probably seen them before, right?
Yeah, I think I own the Phantom Menace one.
Yeah, they were like big back when we were younger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They have like really high quality photos, and everything is sort of marked and it's canonized, and it's really interesting. Very cool. Moving on, some of the other stuff that we have like a Mandalorian augmented reality experience for Google phones. I didn't really look into this that much. I don't know if you did, Christian.
I have an iPhone, so I could not do it if I wanted to, but that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't really know much about it, to be quite honest.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't have a Google phone. I have an iPhone, so I don't. Yeah, if you're interested in it, go look it up. Moving on, we also have Grief Karga and the Child added as new Hasbro Vintage series, so that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Vintage series. I'm not really into collecting them myself. I kind of like the Black series more, but for people who are into this, these are cool additions.
I really just have to stop messing around and pull the trigger on some of these, because like I still don't own a Black series. I want a Din Djarin Black series, but the thing is that ugly one that they just put out is the only one that's easily available. So maybe I just like go for a Kylo Ren and then go from there. But man, yeah, it's cool. I like the vintage ones too, because I think I told you this. I have like a tin, like a Hasbro tin for like Revenge of the Sith that probably has like 25 of the like 4-inch tall figures from everything in it.
Nice.
If I find it sometime, I'm down to show it off on the show. But yeah, like they're cool. I like them.
They are cool. I mean, for me personally, I kind of like the Black Series ones a bit better, just because I feel like they're higher quality. But the Vintage series are just like, they just look really neat.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah, so we got some other stuff. We got a Trouble on Tatooine Lego set. Seems like it's from the first episode of season 2. So that's cool. We also have the Art of Mandalorian season 1 book, which looks really cool. Only $40. 300 color illustrations from the concept. It seems like the concept art of the Mandalorian. So the stuff that they show at the end of every episode.
I love Star Wars concept art.
Me too, man. In the book, that 300 photos, man.
Mm-hmm.
Sign me up.
Yeah, that's dope.
It is super dope. And then lastly, we have this is my favorite one. We have from William Sonoma, Navarro Nummies. They're macaroons. They're blue macaroons from the new episode of Mandalorian. So you could buy them from William Sonoma. They will send them to wherever you live. They're edible, and you could pay $50 for 12 of them.
That is ridiculous. Like, here's the thing. I saw somebody also from Star Wars on Twitter. I forget who it was, but they were like, "There's a difference between macarons and macaroons." These are macarons, I think.
I have no idea.
I've seen them on the Food Network. I've never eaten one, but in my mind, they always seem like they're super expensive and fancy, just because of the way they talk about them on the Food Network. So, like, I don't know if that's standard price for like a set, but that's wild. That's a lot.
Yeah, I really don't know if that's like reasonable. It doesn't seem like it. Like, that seems like a lot of money for just 12 macaroons. And yeah, I guess I don't know. I'm not really what?
So for funsies, I looked up dozen macarons from La Durée, Paris. I can't pronounce that French. Next, box of 12 macarons from Gold Belly, $45. So maybe this is standard price.
I guess so. They better taste like the best thing of all time. If I'm going to be paying $50 for 12 of them.
Yeah. You know what? You could probably just buy some Oreos and feel just as satisfied.
Yeah, really, for like $3. And I just like the name of them, though. Navarro Nummies.
Yeah, that's very funny.
Yeah, I wonder how much they're selling with this.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's what I kind of picked up from Mando Monday. I don't know if you saw anything that I didn't necessarily...
there was a Columbia, like, heavyweight hoodie.
Oh, yo, I saw that!
That looks really cool.
Did you see the jacket?
Yeah, so there's a jacket that has, like, a puffer vest. I like puffy vests, honestly. I feel like they're cool. That one, the puffy vest one, which has a removable vest, is $300. It also comes with like a face covering hood. Oh, sorry, the face covering hood is separate. You can get like a helmet gaiter for skiing or whatever. That's $40.
It looks like the Mandalorian's helmet, though.
Yeah. It's cool. And the one that interested me is, I think it's probably a nylon. Oh, sorry, no, it has a Sherpa lining.
I saw. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's $120. It's a nice heavyweight hoodie. It's got the mud horn on the side. It's got some cool, like, good looking decals. It doesn't look cheesy. Like, it looks very, very nice. And that was something I would like to own.
Yeah, no, those looked really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they also have, like, I don't know, for people who have children, they seem like they have smaller, like, Baby Yoda themed, like,
yeah,
like jackets and stuff, which is pretty cute.
Yeah. So you got kids? There you go.
Cool stuff overall. I'm still waiting on Timothy Oliphant's character. What the heck is his name?
Cobb Vanth.
Cobb Vanth. I'm still waiting on that Black series, so we only got a few more of these left. Anyway, anything else you want to say about Mando Monday, Christian?
Nah, I hope we end on a bang. I hope the finale of Mando Mondays there's something crazy. Like, announce a Mando video game. Do something wild.
Yeah, I hope so too. At least a Cobb Vanth Black series.
Yes, that's the least you can do. The most you can do is a Mando video game.
Yeah. Mark my words, though. I will buy that Cobb Vanth Black series as soon as I'm able. Anyways, so why don't we move on to talking about the stuff that we watched? There's two things. We watched the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special, correct? And then we also watched the next episode of The Mandalorian, Chapter 12, The Siege. So why don't we first start off with the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special? So we've been talking about this for a while, and it finally came out this past week. It was about 45 minutes long, and it is pretty fun, I have to say.
And I really enjoyed it too. It's very fun. It's cute. I would honestly, like, if they told me that this was canon, I would kind of believe them. Like, maybe not the way it all went about, but like the idea of Rey popping in back and forth through time like this, like
Yeah.
they did it in a way that I was like, oh, you could like easily say like this actually happened, and then Rey did this so she could be a better teacher to Finn. Like, I would believe that.
Yeah, in a way, like that's one of the things I wanted to ask you. Like, is this canon? Because
Hmm.
it doesn't really change anything that's serious, right? Like,
Yeah. Like, there's no ripple effects, you know? Like, we're just bouncing off. She got everybody back. Like, I honestly, it could very well not be canon. I just know that the reason Battlefront 1 and to some extent 2 were kind of like strict about the way they portrayed things is because it had to be canon.
yeah,
So I know when it comes to Star Wars, the official christening of canon is pretty like on point. So if this is out there, if it's using the cast and characters, like I would believe fully that a year or so, I don't know how long this is after episode 9, but like, hey, a year later, they're all hanging out. They want to celebrate Life Day together. Poe takes care of everything. Finn and Rose are talking everywhere. Rey went off to try and be introspective and then stumbled into this whole adventure. And really, the only thing she walked away with is a lesson. Nothing else bad happened. So,
no, I mean it was great. It was a great Star Wars story, and I like how it was sort of like they used Life Day to sort of just be the holiday that everybody can celebrate, and
mhm,
it has some good messages in there, for sure.
mhm.
And I only asked the question of like, is this canon? Because I really wanted part of it to be in the sense that Finn is like a Jedi in this,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Mhm.
And you know, listeners of this podcast will know that both Christian and I are huge fans of that concept.
Yeah.
So that was cool to see it, you know, at least done in some way. But it's sad that it's been relegated to the Lego Holiday Special.
Yeah, and I mean, who's to say that this doesn't springboard somewhere? You know, like
Yeah,
maybe a year from now, it's like, hey, like we just skipped the Han Luke Leia show that I keep saying is going to happen, and then we do like a Rey Finn Poe one, and it's about Finn training to be a Jedi. Like that would still be super cool, you know. And I think with the seeds that were planted, the fact that John Boyega was like, yeah, Finn's a Jedi. Finn's gonna be a Jedi. Like he kept reiterating that. Like that was the thing he was gonna tell Rey. Um, this is could very well be canon evidence of him actually training. So it's like, hey, cool, yeah, we're gonna explore that in some capacity somewhere. I'm a fan of that. I like it.
definitely. I do like how this you know this special sort of went through every single like instance of Star Wars canon for the
Mm-hmm.
most part. I thought that was really fun. And I mean, to me, I think it kept its Lego humor,
Yeah.
that we're all so used to. I don't know if you agree with that, Christian.
Oh no, I absolutely agree. I thought it was written fun. It was clever. The visual gags worked. I thought, you know. But yeah, I thought it was really nice. The one thing I will say that was kind of not really distracting, but something that I just kept thinking every time he spoke. The Emperor sounds like he should be a Family Guy character.
He does, yeah, for sure. He sounds like the Emperor in the Family Guy, like versions of Star Wars.
Yeah, who was the Emperor in? Oh, it was
Uh,
Lois's dad, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, yeah, he sounded like he should be like a skit, like a Robot Chicken Family Guy, some sort of like parody character. And I was like, okay, that's funny because you're doing a choice with it and it's working. But yeah, everybody else I thought did a good job. You know, like we didn't have the full cast, but
No.
I thought the person who was doing Ray was doing a good Ray voice. I thought, you know, it didn't sound one to one like Ray, but it's like, oh, that's Ray. That's how Ray talks.
Yeah, no, it was definitely intentional, and like it didn't sound one to one like you said, but it did sound pretty good.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I think there was a different actor for Finn as well, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, overall, I thought it was really sweet, really cool. And yeah, I probably will watch it again, maybe like next year or
Yeah.
something.
Did you have a favorite joke?
Did I have a favorite joke? I have to say, I can't remember. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I really thought that in the trailer, the joke where Darth Vader was like, "My these binary sons."
Yeah.
It was really funny. So
Yeah, there was a couple moments where I just actually laughed. I was like, that's good.
what do you remember any of them or?
One of them, I'm a sucker. I was a sucker for this when it happened in episode 7. Every time they can make it work in a new way, I like it. But when BB-8 did like the arm thing and then he leaned and like looked at her.
I'm not sure if I recall that, to be honest with you, but
Yeah, he put out a robot arm so he could lean on it and like give Ray a look of like, are you sure?
oh, okay. All the stuff that they do with BB-8 is so funny.
Yeah. But yeah, it was really funny. I liked it a lot.
Me too. It was great. So why don't we move on to the main event here? The thing that we've been waiting for here. The next episode of The Mandalorian, Chapter 12, The Siege. This one was directed by Carl Weathers. Shout out to Grief Karga. So we're right off the heels of episode 4, the crazy one on the planet of Trask, I believe, with Bo-Katan and all the other Mandalorians. And so before the Mandalorian goes to find Ahsoka, he goes back to Navarro, where he hangs out with Grief Karga and Cara Dune, who's sort of just taken the city and cleaned it up. I don't really know how long has passed between the end of season 1 and now, but they've really changed the town.
Yeah, there's I believe the bar that like was where Mando almost died is a school now.
Right. Yeah.
They have an entire like trading post set up. They're I guess you could say respected by the New Republic in a way, like because at the end we do see some X-wing pilots show up and they're like sort of a mutual respect of like it's like, hey, leave us alone, we'll take care of everything, we're doing everything legal.
Yeah.
So yeah, they really turned it around. I thought it was interesting that they called Cardoon the Marshal also, because
Right.
that's twice now in one season we've heard of a marshal taking over a town. So that was fun.
It seems as though Grief Karga is the I think they call him the magistrate, right? He's like the leader, the mayor almost of this town.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
It is cool. So in order to sort of protect the town even more, Cara Dune and Grief Karga employ the Mandalorian to basically just like blow up the remaining Imperial base on the planet, it seems, right? And they take the Mythrol with them, who's voiced by I always forget.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but he's returning from season 1, episode 1, the original bounty.
He was the OG bounty in the first episode. So yeah, they managed to they tried to destroy this base. They go in there and they discover that it's not really what they expected, and we have some serious implications for the overall Star Wars universe with what they find. Do you want to explain that, Christian?
Sure. So I believe what they originally thought was it was a weapons base or like some sort of artillery that would prevent Navarro from being the prosperous trading outpost it could be. So they go there armed, sneak into the base. They're about to blow it up, overheat the reactor to just cause everything to melt with lava. They're sneaking through. I forget at what point they realize this. It might be when they get to the control room. But after the base is set to blow, they go to an area where there are 2 Imperial officers who are like trying to wipe drives. You know, it's like, hey, ship's going down. Tank all the evidence. And there's 2 specific things I'll call out. One, I have to go back and look at this, but it looked like when they broke into the room and the Imperial officers started shooting the control point, it looked like there were schematics for another Death Star, which I think might have been Starkiller Base.
Yeah, I mean, I actually watched a new Rockstars video about this.
Okay.
And they pointed out that the stuff that was showing on the screens that you're referring to
Mm-hmm.
looked a lot like almost identical to the screen in the first season where Baby Yoda's like on the table and he's
Mm-hmm.
getting like scanned.
Okay.
They look similar according to that video.
Okay. Um, and there's some uh, there's a recording of the Doctor from season 1 where he's talking about um, an experiment that they are taking blood from the child. They can only take so much at a time because else it'll kill him. And then in the background, there's like 3 or so back to tank looking things with lifeless corpses in them, presumably clones, presumably failed attempts at Emperor Palpatine clones.
Yeah, one of them sort of looked like Snoke, kind
Yeah.
of.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, it was hard to tell.
Yeah, so I'm thinking it's probably like, hey, we tried to start doing Palpatine, and then it was botched so much that it became its own thing, and then that's how the Emperor came to possess Snoke and whatever. Maybe.
Yeah, but it seems clear, though, that they were trying to use Baby Yoda for his blood, which was high in M count, which is, we can only assume, midichlorians,
Mm-hmm.
which is cool. And yeah, so it looks like they were using his blood to sort of like create these force-sensitive beings, but didn't seem to work. But yeah, I guess that shows what or sheds a little bit more light into what the motives of Moff Gideon might be, right? Like, do you think that he is trying to like do something on his own, or do you think he's like a stepping stone to like the Final Order or something like that?
I think he's probably a stepping stone. I think it was probably a leftover either holocron or message from Palpatine being like, there's a species called XYZ that is very high, and Master Yoda was one of them. If you find one ever, use it, and you can create life. Like something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, and if I ever die, you do that on me, and try to get me back.
So yeah, it seems like they're trying to sort of make the sequels make sense in a way.
Yeah, and on that note, listen, I thought the Palpatine and 9 being a clone thing was dumb, but listen, everybody out there that was always like, oh, it doesn't make sense. It's like, Star Wars always does this. They always do this. Every single trilogy. It's like, oh, this is a thing because it is. And then years later, they flesh it out. Here we go.
Yeah, it's like one of those moments that now I'm like, well, like let's see where they go with it. Like
Yeah.
I don't like it's possible that, like you said, Star Wars has done this forever. They just like, write things later on just to sort of like fit the narrative, right?
Yeah, that's what the Force is. Like,
legit, yeah. So I mean, I think I see where they're going with it. Like, it definitely seems like there must be some sort of link to this and like what we saw in Episode 9 with Palpatine's resurrected body, yada yada yada. Snoke's big clone in the tank, right? So it seems connected in that way. I guess we're gonna have to see what happens next.
Yeah, I would also say prepare yourself for this to be the only thing that's touched on in The Mandalorian. Be prepared for this to never be explained further, because the thing is, they could be like, hey, we learned about this here, and then next year when we get a Moff Gideon book, that's where we get further insight into what the project was. I don't think we can look to just The Mandalorian of being like the explanation and the thing that makes the sequels further connected. I don't think that's something that you should bank on this show doing.
Yeah, it does seem as though like they also like explained it really well. That makes me almost think that they'll never talk about it again, because they explained it to the point where it's like, okay, that makes sense. Like, some of the threads are sort of connected here, and then like enough so that they never have to talk about it again.
Yeah, like I could see a world where in the final confrontation with Moff Gideon, like Mando's got a gun to his head. He's like, "You don't understand. We need him. He's gonna resuscitate the Empire and bring back galaxy order to the galaxy. The Emperor's gonna live again, and the final order will seize the day." And then he just like shoots him in the head. Like that could be it.
Yeah.
And they could just be like super transparent. We need cute baby so Wrinkle Man can live again, and then we never talk about it again.
It's literally, yeah, I feel like that's almost exactly what we're gonna get.
Yeah.
So there's that. I don't know if there's anything else you really want to say on that, because it seems like that's basically all that they gave us, in terms of just like, they were using the baby because he's nice with the Force, and they want to use it to clone or resurrect in some way.
Is the Doctor still alive? Do we know that?
Well, yeah, because I think in the show, doesn't the Mithril say that recording was only from like 3 days ago, right?
Yes.
So,
Okay.
So I think so.
Do you think the child gets taken again? Because it's a tracking beacon on the ship now, on the Razor Crest.
I have my own thoughts about that. Maybe we should wait to the end, because it sort of dovetails into the ending here.
Gotcha.
So moving on from that, they escape from the base. They successfully blow it up. We get a cool chase scene with the speeders. Love the attention to detail on that. 2 of them don't even make it down the mountain. Sad news. I like how one of them has to like sort of like brake with his foot as he turns. This is just cool little attention to detail. And yeah, so basically we get a nice little fight chase scene. TIE fighters come after Cara Dune and whatever, and the Mandalorian comes, saves the day in the Razor Crest for probably like the coolest dogfight in Star Wars history.
That was cool.
I literally like screamed when I watched the Mandalorian like destroy one TIE fighter and then do like that like air brake.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? To like turn around 180.
Yeah.
That like I cried. It was so awesome. So yeah, so Mandalorian saves the day and flies away with Baby Yoda. So there's the end of that. Is there anything you want to say with that there?
Really great set piece. I like the GIF that we got out of that. Like just Mando steering the ship and Baby Yoda just like having a fun time. That's cute. But yeah, a good action in the episode. Honestly, like I thought Carl Weathers did a really good job. It's a well-directed episode. It was very entertaining. I was like glued the whole time. I'll say this. I don't know if it's just because I think she's a bad person now, but like Cara Dune's not doing it for me. Like her acting and everything. It's like we can move on.
It seems like that's what the show is doing too.
Yeah.
Like she sort of seems like relegated to Navarro, and yeah, I'm not sure if it's really. It might be sort of Gina Carano's real life way affecting her on-screen performance.
Yeah, because like to be completely fair, I've seen her in stuff before. She's never been a great actor. Like, she was in Fast 5, I want to say, and she was like wooden in Fast and the Furious 5. So like,
yeah,
I'm not surprised. I thought she did serviceable in season 1, but like, yeah, we can move on from Cara Dune. I'm good. Yeah, get out of here. You don't. It's just strange. Like, not to go too off track. It's just strange that for someone who's like in a lead role in Star Wars about rebellion and like equality for everybody and fighting for the underdog, and she's like in real life, like, oh my god.
I know, it's one of those things that I feel like Disney wouldn't want somebody like that in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, anyways, moving on from Gina Carano, she's got her own issues to deal with in real life. The very final set piece of this episode is on a Star Destroyer of some kind. New looking ship. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah, at first I thought it was like a Republic cruiser from the beneath.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, I don't really know. It definitely is like a cross between the old school like Republic, like Venator,
Hmm.
and the Star Destroyer. Um,
What if, because the Imperial fleet is like destroyed, Gideon found like an old Republic Venator on what's the planet Cal was on?
uh,
The Scrapper planet?
Braca.
Braca? What if he went to Braca and he's like, hey, that one? Don't get rid of that one yet. Like,
It's possible. I mean, it did look kind of Frankenstein
yeah,
in a
it's
way.
cool.
But yeah, on the ship, we get notified that the one of the people, one of the aliens rather, who worked on the Razor Crest to fix it up, was working for Moff Gideon. Placed a tracking beam on the Razor Crest. One of the officers tells the informant that they will be rewarded in the new era, whatever the heck that means. And they go to Moff Gideon to tell him that the Razor Crest has been tracked and there's a tracking beacon on it. And we get this cool, pan out shot with a bunch of dark troopers around Moff Gideon.
Yeah, that was interesting. I was trying to see if there was like any sort of hint of like a Vader thing going on with them, but they're Dark Troopers then.
So, yeah, it seems as though that's the case. Apparently, in the audio version of this, like for people who have hearing disabilities, there's like a description, like a written description of what's happening on screen, and the written description calls them dark troopers. We don't know if it's like lowercase dark troopers because they're just like black looking troopers, but
Right.
like yeah, no, it looks like that they're the actual dark troopers from the expanded universe, which, if for people who aren't familiar, I kind of wasn't before this came out. They are from the expanded universe. They're basically like droids that are like really good at fighting. Um, so yeah.
So, um, I wonder where this is going, right? Because I feel like we've been able to parse out some sort of idea of where this season's been going. Like
Yeah.
last week, we called that this week was going to be an offbeat thing. This is probably when we're going to meet up with Cara Dune and Grief again.
Mhm.
And I feel like all signs are pointing to Ahsoka next week. So I'm wondering when this beacon comes into play. Like, is there a world where this week's episode is the Ahsoka episode, and then at the end they're still hanging out together, and then the episode next week Gideon shows up to wherever they are with Ahsoka, and then sets off the end of the season? Like, what are you thinking?
So I kind of wanted to come back to this. You brought it up earlier in the episode. I you asked me if I think Baby Yoda is going to be captured again. I think it's probable. It's likely, in the sense that I think where this is going to is next episode we're going to get the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda going to Ahsoka on Corvus or whatever, finding her, hanging out with her for a bit, and I think sometime within the next episode we're going to see that tracking beacon sort of come into play. I think personally, like, Moff Gideon's going to show up to Corvus with all of his dark troopers and, somehow, maybe successfully, maybe unsuccessfully, steals Baby Yoda, and he's got to fight Ahsoka with the dark saber. I think that's going to happen. I don't know if that's going to be next episode. I think maybe. And then, like, they try to spend the next few episodes getting Baby Yoda back or something.
Okay, yes.
I don't know.
I think I got to figure it out. So, we do what you said. We hang out this week, right? And then I think Baby Yoda does get captured, but it's just the Dark Troopers.
Next week?
No, this week.
Okay, yeah.
And then next week, it's Din and Ahsoka. Because we got, what, 3 episodes left after this week?
Believe so, yeah.
So it's Din and Ahsoka finding their crew next week, figuring out a way to get on board Gideon's ship. And then the final 2 episodes are storming the ship. And then in the finale, that's when we get the lightsaber fight.
Okay, you're probably like that's probably accurate. I feel like doing the lightsaber fight in the next episode would probably be too soon.
I mean, I could see Ahsoka cut down some droids, some dark troopers with her saber, you know, but I don't think we get a clash.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I think it's gonna happen this season. We're gonna get a dark saber Ahsoka, Moff Gideon versus Ahsoka fight. I think.
Mm-hmm.
When that's gonna happen, that remains to be seen. Do you think that you know? I think we're gonna operate on the assumption that Baby Yoda gets taken at some point. Are we going to see like Bo-Katan come back? Are we going to see Cobb Vanth come back at all? Are we going to go back to Tatooine? Like, what's the deal? Like,
I think we might get a montage. I do think like season 1 style, it's going to be like, hey, we got to grab this person for our job, and he's going to call on his favors to the people he's helped out this season.
Beautiful.
Because like
it's like poetry, it rhymes, Christian.
Exactly. Yeah, because I think like you brought up Bo-Katan and her crew. Like I do think they probably want to be involved if it's a way to get at Gideon, you know. So
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see all this go down. Like I think we're in the ballpark, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Regardless, I thought it was a good episode, and I will say I'm still kind of surprised of how in the weeds we're getting with connections to things, but I still think it's a really well done. Yeah,
no, we're really getting into the like the hardcore Star Wars lore here.
Mm-hmm.
But it's done in a way that I think, you know, the average viewer can understand. So
absolutely
awesome. Well, I mean, is there anything else you want to say about the episode? I mean, it was a beefy one. I loved it. It was probably one of the best ones this season, I think.
Yeah, it was really good. Carl Weathers did a good job.
Totally.
Yeah, but it was a good one for sure. Also, the Baby Yoda eating the macarons, like that was nice.
Yeah, you can recreate that if you want. It's only $50.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, so I mean that's really all I think we had to discuss today. Christian, you're usually the best at taking us out to sea here, so why don't you do the outro?
Sure. So this show is available on youtube.com/joyclicks. That's where you are if you're watching the video version or the live premiere. This week is Thanksgiving, so we're dropping on Tuesday just for scheduling. This show is also available on audio services like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, your favorite podcast service. If you can rate or review on that platform, it would be greatly appreciated because it helps us out a ton, keeps the show going. If you want to get involved further, patreon.com/joyclicks has $1, $2, and $5 tiers. Gets you a variety of perks as well as producer credit like Chris Sakis and Aaron Easton. So thank you very much. But if you want to follow me anywhere, at Chris N. Buckley on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. Mike, what about you?
You can follow me on Twitter at Mike P. Connors.
Very nice. The show also has a Twitter at Jedi Knights JC. If you want to keep up to date on updated scheduling, topics for the week, stuff like that. But that's going to do it. Thanks for listening. We're on the downhill now for Mando. So
we are. But it feels like it's ramping up.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say it's the downhill slope now for Mando, but like it's just up from here. Honestly,
it is. Yeah, I'm hyped.
So until next week, we're fine. Everything's fine. How are you?
May the Force be with you.
Hello there. This is where the fun begins.
General Kenobi.